Hey, Hawkeye fans, welcome back. Well, history was made last night in Kinnick Stadium as we beat Umass. Today, we're going to be chatting with Zach Twedt for our interview and, of course, previewing our Friday Night Lights matchup with Rutgers. Welcome back to Talkin Hawks, presented by Hillsbank.
Hillsbank is your hometown financial champion, here to help you score some wins. Because at Hillsbank, managing your money is easy. They've got 19 local branches, 40,000 surcharge-free ATMs around the country, and online account access anytime.
Plus, Hillsbank is the bank on campus at the University of Iowa. So whether you're a student athlete or a Hawkeye superfan, Hillsbank helps you get in the game. Visit us today in person or at hillsbank.com, member FDIC. Hi, Matt.
Hey.
How's it going?
God is good.
What a great game.
Good. Yeah. That was a good one for the Hawks.
It was.
It was a get-right game.
And it was so much fun. At first, I was like, why do we have a night game for this game? But I think it was all just like totally meant to be. Night game. KF gets his 206th win, makes history as the outright winningest head coach in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So there's another show that I do. It's called Black and Gold Breakdown. And it's on Wednesdays for the local MediaCom, MC22. And it's with Rob Brooks.
Conflict of interest.
We can coincide.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Anyway, Rob brought up a great point during that show where with how college football is, this literally may never be broken.
Yeah.
To think of a coach this tenured. Because one of the things that KF jokes about is like, how'd you get here? You know, what's the success? And he's like, well, it just tells you that I'm old, because he just stays in it, right? I mean, unless Bielema just keeps changing Big Ten teams and coaching them, I don't know if this will ever get broken.
How old was he when he started?
KF?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You don't know how old he is right now?
I don't.
Let's see.
I know we have the same birthday.
That helps me not at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's see.
And he's been at Iowa for 27 years. Started coaching in 82 in Maine.
He's 70 years old. He's only 1 year older than my dad.
There you go.
70 years old. So then what? How old was he when he started, Matt? Do the math for me.
Well, when did he start?
99.
Well, at Iowa? Yeah, he's been here 20. That's an easy one. He's been here 27 years. Or he's going on his 27th year.
Okay, how old was he when he started?
Oh, how old? I'm sorry. 43.
Okay. But that was when he started as a head coach.
Yes.
So, but he had been here before that.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I thought you were getting at. Because he was a head coach in Maine.
This is taking way too much time. I'm so sorry.
We're not talking ball?
Not yet. I haven't gotten there yet. It was a great game, though. It was so much fun. There were so many great moments during the game.
To that. I want to talk a little bit more about KF.
Okay.
So I don't know if this will legitimately ever be broken. We'll see how much longer he chooses to coach. I like that one of the first things he says is all the people around him, right? Like, but to have a coach that tenured, to win 10 games every other year, at least for a little bit. I think we as Hawkeye fans, there was a comment on the last one that said, there's another 10 games, but it's like, you coach against perfection, right? Like when you're coaching somebody and you're watching the tape, you could have done this better. You look at games and we could have done that better. We could have won this, could have done whatever. But when you're consistently winning at least 8 games, I don't think people understand exactly how difficult it is to win 8 games every single year. Especially when you look at a team like Nebraska who had Bo Pelini. Do you remember those Nebraska teams?
No, I don't.
They were getting 9 wins every single year with Bo Pelini. And they fired him. And now the Scott Frost did not win 9 games. I don't even know if he won 9 games his entire time in Nebraska.
That was such a weird period of time.
But right? So they brought him in. They're like, okay, it's going to be there. And then Matt Rule's there. And it's like, they still haven't won 9 games. And they've gone, and Bo Pelini was coaching back 10 years ago, even more so. I think we take for granted how consistently good Iowa is.
For sure. And the other thing is too, like people, compare it to like the Alabamas or compare it to like LSU, Clemson. You know what I mean? Like you compare it to teams that have these like recent spurts. I mean, you could argue that like Alabama's a really like storied, successful program as well. Definitely. But I guess my point is like to be consistently, like you said, over 50% and consistently having like good years, good games, good upsets, and also having like a really good rate of players going to the NFL.
Guys that graduate.
That win, graduate, and do it right, Matt. guys that do that.
Well,
but
if you want to hear like
really,
recruiting pitch, go listen to our my conversation. Unfortunately, you weren't there, but my conversation with Tavon that came out, it was week 1 of this season, and he talked about like the recruiting pitch that KF did, which was NFL guys, graduation rates, and bowl games.
Yeah,
versus anybody.
And coaching turnovers, right?
Coaching turnover, that's correct. Yeah, and he said there were a couple other things. You got to go check it out, but like, to win in all those statistics, I think it's very easy to take that for granted when you're so used to success.
Yeah.
But the reason I think that this wouldn't happen later, I knew there was a point that I wanted to get back to. He won 1 game in 99, right?
Sure.
1 or 2 games in 2000, right? Like, if a coach starts 3 and probably 15, do you think they're coming back for a 3rd year?
Right. Yeah.
Like, in today's world, probably not. That's why I don't know if this will ever get broken. Because unless somebody comes in, like Ryan Day, even with Ohio State, right? Like, they've been top tier since he took over for Urban Meyer, and they don't beat Michigan for a couple of years, and everybody's like, take him out. They're winning 11 games, and they're like, take him out. He's missing the 1. Like, I just don't know how likely it is that a coach is going to be at a place for 30-some years in order to beat KF.
Yeah. Even to think about just like the average person being at the same job for 30 plus years, that is something to say for itself.
Something in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure. That just doesn't happen very often now either. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so I'm sorry if I do.
Well, there's other history that was made.
There was other history that was made. What?
Marky G, as he is affectionately known around this podcast.
Yeah.
He is now the all-time winningest quarterback in FBS history.
Sweet.
Or Division I history, I think.
Good for him.
51.
Played really well. I was proud of him.
Yeah, the big step forward. We'll get into that too.
Yeah. I told you last time when they did this story with his family and his brother, now he's got my heart. The heart's in it. So any type of...
He has your heart. That's
not like that,
like,
Matt.
I have your heart.
It's not like that, okay?
Hashtag
you know what I'm
yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You don't just like him as a football player, but you're also like, oh, and he's a great guy. Like, no, I really got to root for him. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited for and KF. Congratulations from the Talkin Hawks squad.
Congratulations. Cool.
What was that in reference?
I don't know. Nothing. It was just me.
All right. That's fun.
Continue on. Tell me about it. Tell me about the first shot down the field. How fun was that? That's what we all wanted to see.
Yeah.
Lester was like, okay, guys, fine, here. And they did great.
Yes. It's taking chances. And I talked about like, this is more about Iowa than it is UMass on my preview. I said, this is where you get right. This is where you start making those plays, taking those chances, especially when Temple threw all over UMass.
I did think about you when they were taking, I was like, a few times,
Thank you.
Because, you have my heart, Matt. But no, I did think about you a couple of times where I was like, yeah, he was right. It didn't really matter, the preview on UMass of like, oh, who are they? What do they do? All the things. It was more of just like, what are we going to do?
Correct.
To get right.
We went out and did really well. The first deep shot to Sam Phillips, Marky G was a little late on it, but it's because I think he was waiting for a big post over the middle. You can kind of see, I love it when they show the behind the line view so you can actually see where Mark is looking. So he snaps and he's looking down the middle of the field. Now he's doing one of two things. Either A, I thought there was a big post that was on the backside, which he could have been looking at, or he was trying to hold that safety a little bit longer to the middle before he shifts his shoulders and then throws it to Sam Phillips. Sam Phillips had a great game. Seth Anderson had a great game. Like there were a lot of really good things that were part of this team win, because really it was offense, defense, and special teams that performed as we expected going in. But Mark looked more comfortable. There were more throws on rhythm. That's the biggest thing. Do you trust your receiver to be where he's supposed to be at the time you need him to be there? And that looked more consistent. Also got tight ends involved. I think every tight end caught a pass. There were some that he zung over the middle. Zinged? Zung? That doesn't sound right. Zung?
That's funny. Sure.
Zoomed over the middle.
Through.
Sure. The RPO that he threw a touchdown to Seth Anderson, that was on time, fast ball, right where it needed to be. Like there were so many good things, and there were even a couple drops. Like, so not that like I want drops, but the ball is where it's supposed to be, which is why I never even thought for a second giving up on Mark. There's so many people that were talking all this crap, and it's unfortunate that there's that. There's wanting someone to be better, then there's critiquing and saying bench him. And I think most of the time here, we want someone to be better. And he went out and just did what we knew he was capable of. It's just making sure that you have the time and the rhythm, and they had another week together, right, to get all that stuff down and then to go out there and perform like that, I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm. You know who I really like watching?
Who?
Jazz Patterson.
Yes, same.
He's so funny. There were multiple times. Funny? Yes. The way he runs is so spastic in the best way. I mean, in the best way. Yeah. There were I was standing down at the like south end zone. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been in the first half. Might have been in the third quarter. Doesn't matter. But they were like headed our way. And he ran it a couple of times. And he always did like very spastic running with like his other hand was doing like this, like kind of like waving as he was running. He's just going as hard as he possibly can. And then he would get like tripped up. And it was like one of those really frustrating ones. And it happened a couple of times where it was like, oh, if that one person would have just reached out their hand just enough, like he would have been gone. And I think that happened a couple of times. But like every time he would fall forward, he would like army crawl to get a couple of more. You know how they do that? Like, yes. Like real quick at the end. And he did that so many times and it was so funny to watch. That's why I like watching him.
I really like him too.
I mean, he's a really great player, but I also like those little extra things that are funny.
The thing that I love about him is he's typically number 2 or 3 on the depth chart. And yet somehow he finds himself playing most of the reps.
Yeah.
Or at least a healthy amount.
Sure. Cool.
So okay. Yes, I really like Jazz Patterson too.
Defense, what'd you see? What'd you like?
We were swarming to the ball. I mean, we were taking care of business the way we needed to. The only time that we even gave up anything was after the blocked punt, which is not consistent. We typically don't see that at Iowa. So the way that the shield punt, which is what it's called. So there's pro style, which you see in the pros, right? You've got everybody inside. You got 2 gunners on the outside. They go. Nobody else is allowed to go until the ball's kicked in the NFL. That's a rule. So that's why they have to block that certain way. So they don't have a bunch of pros running down like we do in college because there's such a discrepancy. So in college, everybody can go before the ball's kicked. And so they snap it so that way they can kind of get a little rollout, all that kind of stuff. Well, the guys up front, which are next to the long snapper, they don't really block anybody. It's more about track. So if I go on this right track and I force this guy to run around me, then I slowed him down enough that Reese is going to kick it. I don't have to worry about it. So my first step is really important in my gaining ground. It's almost like if you're a guard pulling to get in front of a run or a tackle pulling to get all the way across. It's the same concept. You're trying to gain depth, which is counterintuitive, right? You're running backwards. But the point is that you can loop enough to force this guy to go behind you. And then that, 1/10 of a second or 2/10 of a second allows Reese to get the kickoff. On this particular one, I blanking on the number, but he did not gain a bunch of depth on his first step. So the guy was able to cut the gap in between him, and he's the one that was able to block the punt because the shield knows who they're responsible for. Everybody's going to point and be like, I got him. And so the shield knows, okay, I've got the 3. It usually is the 3 that show up the fastest, but they know who basically the front 5 or 6 aren't blocking. So that way they know who their 3 are so they can kind of see it. But when one guy's got to take on 2 because another guy didn't do his job, that's when mistakes happen. I'm sure that'll get picked up very quickly, and I'd be shocked if it happened again.
Special teams. Drew Stevens struggled a little bit.
You said he had one of the more athletic plays that we didn't see on TV.
But, yes. So when he hit the upright, he caught that. It hit the upright, and it came back toward him, and he caught it and then tried to take it into the end zone. Which I was like,
wait, didn't Torrey do something like that where he punted it and then he tried to?
Yeah, that was in 2020.
He double kicked it.
Yeah, when there was like no fans in the stadium.
It was a really good kick.
It was a very good kick. Yeah, but I've never seen somebody do that. It just doing and then came right back to him, and then he went to like go behind his guys and get into the end zone, and then obviously the play got called dead. But I thought it was pretty impressive that he just kept watching it. Came right back to him. It's kind of funny. Anything else?
Caden
Weejan. Speaking of special teams, I think that was a, hey guys, sorry, I made a couple mistakes last week. Let me just make up for that real quick. And it was really cool. Really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was talking about that 95-yard punt because I was like, to you, I said, that's one, because typically the rule is you put your heels on the 8 and you do not back up. If it backs up, you just take the touchback. Mm-hmm. But he caught it over his shoulder, kind of at the 5-yard line.
It was an impressive catch.
And you're like, no. oh, go. That's exactly what that was. Unfortunately, so that was really cool. The best part about it was there was two guys closing in and he shot the gap. Like he showed his speed.
He's fast,
which is really cool.
Do you think maybe Coach Woods was like, hey, great job, please don't ever do that?
Hey, it goes out of bounds next time.
Yeah. Do you think he would say that?
Probably.
Like in meetings?
Probably. Like, this is great, don't do it again. This is great, everybody else watching him, don't do this. This is great. I do also feel the need to bring up that on that play, though, and our thoughts and prayers are going out to the player for UMass. There was a long break there. They didn't show the full replay on TV, but I know that he got blocked by Iowa, and then there was another guy from UMass that hit him kind of simultaneously. So our thoughts and prayers go out. I think his name is TJ. You were actually near him when he got carted off, right?
Yeah, and he was talking. He was like obviously strapped down to the cart, but then he was talking to like their trainer and stuff like that. So that's obviously a good sign. And then they put up an update like during the game too that said he was moving his extremities and was like talking and responsive and all that kind of stuff. So that's always good to see. But that is so scary. There was another one of those at the Notre Dame game. Notre Dame and who'd they play? Texas Tech, A&M, one of the two, I think.
All Iowa.
Sorry. Yes, and 3 kids. Yeah, another guy got hurt in like a similar fashion. I want to say it was just like a yucky block and just one of those things that unfortunately happens in the game.
Well,
but
and the
hopefully he's okay
wasn't
too.
Ill on the Iowa one. His arms were up, like he wasn't trying to do the blindside stuff. He just happened to hit him into another guy that was coming, like
friendly fire,
correct,
sort of kind of thing. Yeah.
What was really cool though is that UMass had a giant group, knelt down and prayed. Iowa had a giant group, knelt down and prayed. I know I prayed at home. Like it was one of those where it was like, let's try and get him some extra prayers, and it seemed to work out. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, hopefully he's doing pretty good now and all the things. Anything else you want to say about the game? Torrin Young was our honorary captain. Such a nice man. You guys played together for 2 years. And so we were just chatting on the sideline before I interviewed him. And I was like, yeah, what are you doing now? He's like, yeah, I live back in Wisconsin and I'm an educator. And, I got 4 kids and my wife. And I was like, 4 kids? Like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, oh, we have 3. Like, we're almost there. Guess we're a little older than I think we are, Probably. Yeah. Probably. But it was kind of cool to catch up with him. So. I guess the only thing left would be our unsung hero. Unsung hero. Well, Johnny C. Might as well call him Jamie, like Joe Rogan. Okay. Right? Found this out for us. That Caden Weegan, I did know that he had tied the longest punt return in Iowa history, but I didn't realize it was the longest in Kinnick. The other one was an away game. But thanks, John. Really cool. Congratulations. More history being made last night. So fun. Yeah. It was funny. What the ending score, we had 47. Was that our... Something like that. Is that right? I think so. But in the third quarter, the dance team went out and did a performance, as they typically do. And the name of their performance was Drop and Give Me 50. And I was like, oh, we were so close. That was so random. Drew had a field goal. He missed. Shoot. Okay. Not to call you out, Drew, but that really would have been the piece de resistance on the game. Okay, give me your unsung hero, Matt. Unsung hero, brought to you by JB Roofing, is going to be Sam Phillips. Okay. And it's not going to be for his deep catches or anything like that. It's actually on Caden Weegan's reverse. So one of the big things on blocking as a receiver is you need to guess where they're going to go, knowing what their responsibility is. So he's on the backside of the play. Caden Weegan's coming from, as you look at the screen, top to bottom, but on the field, it'd be right to left, and Sam Phillips is on the left. He knows he's got the corner. The corner's job is to contain, meaning push everything back to the rest of the players. So if he gets caught inside, there's nobody outside, because the safety is taught to fill in to out. So he's going to essentially bend the horn, but he's going to go outside the linebacker. He's going to fill downhill and then chase it, because what should happen is the corner is going to set the edge, so to speak, force the runner to go back in, and then the safety's there. Okay. But what happens is Sam Phillips lines up on the outside shoulder of the corner, which Normally, you just want to get right up into him and then you block him, right? But if you go where you know his job is, then you can force him to stay wherever he needs to go. So Sam Phillips lined up on his outside shoulder. He tried to bow back over the top. Sam Phillips just took one step. He was already beat there. Boom, sealed the corner, and Caden Wiegand ends up running around for a touchdown. So just for doing his job, knowing where he needed to be, and that's an experienced player. You know, comes from Chattanooga, doing what he's supposed to do, but doing it at a very critical time on a reverse, making sure he did his one part to make sure that Caden Wiegand scored. So Sam Phillips, Unsung Hero, brought to you by JB Roofing.
Very good. Thanks, Matt. Okay, let's get into our interview with Zach Twedt. You guys are going to love this. It's so good.
Need a new roof, gutter, or siding in Eastern Iowa? Call JB Roofing, a local and reliable roofer with over 20 years of experience. They do one roof at a time, unlike others who may juggle multiple projects and cut corners. They also serve a 45-mile radius around Kelowna and can help you with any insurance claims. Don't wait. Call 319-656-ROOF or visit their website, jbroofingkelowna.com, for a free estimate. JB Roofing, the small-town roofer you can trust. Hey Hawkeye fans, Big Grove is proud to be an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Whether you're at the game or watching from home, Big Grove has got you covered. Enjoy an easy Eddie from the stands or visit them for every Hawkeye game at any of their 4 convenient Iowa locations, whether that be Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, or my favorite, Solon. Cold beer, an award-winning game day menu, and warm hospitality welcome you and fellow fans as we root for the Hawks. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Go Hawks.
Big Grove Brewery, an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Enjoy responsibly.
The Appliance Barn, a grand appliance company, offers a wide range of high-quality appliances at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're in the market for a new refrigerator, dishwasher, or washing machine, they've got you covered. They also have a delivery and setup department to ensure your appliances get delivered and installed quickly. To find out more, visit appliancebarn.com. Iowa City Tire and Service offers the area's best automotive repair while offering top-notch customer service and a unique environment.
They have beer.
And that makes them unique?
No, but they have a really big dog.
Again, does that make them unique?
I mean, they have cookies for their customers.
Not unique.
They have great t-shirts.
Still waiting for it.
They have arcade games like Dig Dug that I may or may not have the current high score on. Still.
What?
Okay then, Iowa City Tire and Service has over 640 5-star Google reviews, and ChatGPT even says it's the #1 choice in the area.
You know, now that you mention it, those guys are pretty great.
Check them out at ictire.com or give them a call, 319-338-5401.
All right, Talkin Hawks fans, I'd like everyone to please welcome to the studio, Zach Twedt. Did I say that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. How's it going?
Not too bad. Pretty casual day in the office. Thursdays are our off days, so was able to get a few things done outside of football after meetings this morning.
I can tell you got a fresh cut.
And then I got a fresh cut. Yes.
Just for today?
Just for today.
Just for us?
Just for Talkin Hawks.
Really?
How about
We
that?
made it.
We've made it officially. Was it Mason that wore the tuxedo shirt?
Mason did wear a tuck shirt, Mason Richmond.
Yep. So.
Sounds like
Which,
Richmond.
if you haven't checked that out, you need to go check out that episode.
It's been a while then, huh?
Yeah, that was last season.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he did show up. He was ready to go.
Presentable.
Tuxedo shirt.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what, hopefully this is okay. Little Lululemon.
It's great.
Works out. Okay.
Nope, it's perfect. Okay. So we just kind of like to start back at the beginning. You said you don't really know what to expect. Are you telling me that you haven't listened to any of our podcast
Oh, I've
episodes,
listened
Zach?
to a few. Yes.
Okay. Well, then
Specifically Zach Lutmer's recently.
Oh, did you?
There's been
Oh,
a few,
cool.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
what's
mainly
going
because
on?
he wanted to get a gauge. For
Wait, he
how
was
hard it was gonna
funny.
be.
Really?
He's funny. Don't you think he's
Yes.
funny?
I thought so, yeah.
He
He's a
has
good
like
kid.
that dry humor that's
Yes.
like,
That's
The
Lutmer.
defensive arrogance.
yeah, oh, geez.
In a good way. In a good way.
Call them out.
You have
These
to.
offensive guys. Let me say.
You have to on defense. Not knocking him.
Especially when Phil Parker's your coach. Yes.
You have to.
Okay, well, first, just where are you from?
Story City, Iowa. So the game last weekend, Ames.
Yeah.
I live just north of there, about 15 minutes.
Story City. Do you know why it's called that?
I do not.
I
Seriously?
bet it has a real good story.
Okay.
Some Norwegian folklore. Bunch
Oh,
of
really?
Norwegians in that area. Yeah. I
Understood.
think we're pretty much known for, we've got like one of the oldest carousels in the country.
Does it still work?
Yes, it does. Yeah. We've always
Wow.
remodeled it, put a decent amount of money into it every year. What years are built, I couldn't tell you, but that's what we're known for.
Where is it? Like, is it inside somewhere or is it outside?
It's outside. Yeah,
Okay.
Like a big outside old fashioned carousel. Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
people still like go on it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Is there like a giant sign out front like this is Story City's carousel?
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
What's
one
the
of
name of it?
Main brands. I think it's just Carousel. Story City Carousel.
Well, I didn't know if it had like,
no,
you know, like a name associated with it.
No, that's crazy. Have you ever been to the world's largest frying pan in Brandon?
Pan? No, I've been to the world's largest truck stop.
Have you?
Yeah, not the frying pan.
Everybody has to go to that.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, they have. It's in Brandon, Iowa, which is like what? Is it south? What is it?
It's like north.
Cardinal direction.
North and west. I pass it when I would go home to South Dakota.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, you could go there. Then you could mark off 2 like really big Iowa landmarks.
3 largest truck stops. So you'd have 3.
3.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Mark
Cultured.
it off. A little bit
right?
of them.
True Iowan.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Story City. Do you have any siblings?
I've got 2 older half brothers.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Otherwise, Story City, 4th generation corn, soybean, cattle farmer. It's kind of where I originated. You know, Story City itself has probably 2,500 people. I think 2 stoplights in our town.
Stop.
Oh, so you guys made it. You got stoplights.
Yeah, right. Elevated from stop signs to stoplights. Graduating class was probably 93, 94 kids.
Okay.
High school total was like 350, 370.
Wow.
So, yeah, really small, tight-knit community. And so it's funny, you know, people ask if I've been to Chicago. No, I've not. You know, I come to Iowa City, and to me, like, this is a massive city. Like,
sure.
You know, you talk Minneapolis or Chicago, I could never imagine driving there, living there, let alone working there.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Did you play 11-man football?
I did. Yes.
You must have just been on the cusp.
We're 2A.
Oh, okay.
So we're 1 division up. We were close, but no. Yeah.
You said half brothers. How much older are they than you?
Oh, I want to say 30 and 31. So decently older. I'm 23.
Okay. Relax.
So, yeah.
We're 31. Okay.
Well, let me say, playing football here seems like it makes me age in dog years.
Yeah.
Between farming and playing football. Yes.
Wait, what does that mean?
Age and 20-year-old.
What does that mean? Age in dog years?
Hold on. You never heard how many dog years is equal to 1 human year?
Like 7 years, right?
Okay. So if he's going to age in dog years.
That you age quicker. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Why do you say farming makes you age faster?
Oh boy. I mean, obviously farming's fun. I love it. Something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Like I said, I'm 4th generation of the family. It's not easy. I mean, it's not something you wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to be a farmer. You know, just the way that markets are, trying to get land to even farm, let alone, not to mention all the things that just are out of your control, weather, the markets, prices of inputs. You know, that's kind of the ongoing joke is farmers are some of the biggest gamblers. I mean, again, there's just so many things that are out of their control, but here they are taking out these substantial, you know, farming notes or operating notes, buying equipment that is equivalent to the average American mortgage, one piece of equipment, and then putting something in the ground, crossing their fingers, praying that it's going to grow the next year.
Wow.
You know, for say then 2021 rolls around, you get something like the whole derecho. There's a substantial part of central Iowa, you know, their corn was just flat on the ground. Did we have corn and soybean heads to really harvest that, to pick it up off the ground? No, not really. You know, did you spend some of the extra money that year to buy some better crop insurance? Maybe, maybe not. So again, it's one of those things where, yes, it is very stressful, and there's just so many things you can't control. You just hope and pray on so much. So
wow. Yeah, and you know what? Those are things too that like the average person, even being from Iowa, I'm just from Cedar Rapids. So, I mean, not really like a big city, but still not, I mean, I'm not out there farming. It's not really things that you really take into account.
Correct.
It's just kind of something you look around and go, yeah, you know, there's a lot of cornfields here. And it's like, well, yeah, but we're pretty lucky that the corn's growing in those fields, you know, when you put it that way. So, wow, that's really cool. What was that like growing up? Like, were you farming like every day? Is that how you spent your summers? Was that,
Yeah, pretty much. I've always credited my maturity to farming. Like growing up on a farm, you just have to.
Everybody got chores.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you think your kids right now at home have chores, or you know, I'm not dissing on kids that grow up in the city, but oh yeah, I got to go feed my dog, or I got to take the trash out.
Actually, those are both of our kids' chores.
Well, whereas then, you know, for me in the farm, it's like, oh yeah, I got to go wake up, and we used to have horses back in the day. We had 28, 29 some horses. Oh, you got to feed all the horses because mom and dad are gone to work. They're doing something else. So yeah, we're putting this responsibility on a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid. Same thing with feed and bottle calves. You know, it's one of those things where, again, at a really young age, I was still waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, going out, getting that done. You know, then you're going to run inside and shower because you just smell like manure and outside, and then get on the bus that, you know, for me in the country came at like 6:30, 6:45. make their route, pick everyone up.
So you were probably the first one picked up and the last one dropped off.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's
every
the
day.
worst.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And then those older buses, you know, on the gravel roads, the dust kind of just collects in that bus and it's just floating around everywhere. But no, I mean, then even driving, you know, I learned how to drive when I was, again, I think 5 or 6 years old on an old International 460. So I learned how to drive on a clutch before I did a manual or an automatic, I should say. So I don't know. I mean, I've just enjoyed it. Again, a lot of responsibility at such a young age, being exposed to kind of adult environments at a young age. You know, I wasn't out riding bikes with my friends in town. I wasn't going to the pool. I wasn't doing some of the other fun stuff that kids get to do. You know, even when it comes to like movies and watching TV, one of the things I always credited myself about is, you know, people, they reference movies all the time. Oh, have you seen this movie, or that Hallmark movie, whatever. I'm like, no. The only TV I really watched as a kid growing up was the weather and the markets. Aside from that, being a farmer, you kind of just, you think about all the things you could be doing to better yourself or better the operation in some way, shape or form. But instead you're sitting on a couch, just staring at a screen. One of the things, again, farming, I don't want to say it's a small minority of the population. I mean, it is. People just don't realize, again, how much they're actually doing throughout a fiscal year. I mean, there's row crop farmers, there's cattle farmers, there's hog farmers. You know, there's constantly something to be done. You know, you look at some other podcasts or barn talk or farm talk, and they'll often reference farmers as overfunctioners. You know, again, it feels weird to sit down and not do anything. And so again, that was just applicable all my childhood and all my life growing up. Is I just constantly had to be doing something. You know, even when I got to high school, we had Friday night football games. You know, we get done with the game at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Well, football season's right in the middle of fall harvest. And so then I'd go home, I'd sit my butt in the tractor seat in the ripper, which is a tillage piece of equipment. And then, you know, do that till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, go home, sleep till 7, 8 o'clock, wake up, be out in the tractor all day the next day until Sunday morning at 1, 2 o'clock. And then our family rule is we typically don't farm on Sundays, as long as the weather allows it and we're not too far behind, or we're not trying to beat, you know, the winter weather. We typically wake up as a family, go to church, and just enjoy that day of rest. You know, kind of keeps everyone mentally sane and keeps their body, gives them a little time to take it easy. So no, again, just I credit my work ethic, my ability to do some of the things that I was talking about with Tom Kaut, and the whole independent contracting thing. I credit it to my life growing up on the farm.
Was there ever a moment like when you were a kid that you were like, gosh, like I wish I could be going to the pool or riding bikes with my friends? Or was it something that you were just so ingrained in and maybe like passionate about even as a kid that really didn't even register for you? What was that like?
Right. I would say that there's moments, you know, I wouldn't say that I really got jealous, you know, while all these kids they got the new Xbox or PlayStation, or we're going to this park or pool. You know, I'm here at the farm. And again, as a little kid, like I get to ride 4-wheelers, I get to ride dirt bikes, I get to shoot guns, I get to do all this other stuff on the farm that no one gets to do in town. You know, it definitely took quite a few years. And especially now looking back, I do take a lot of pride in the fact that I was able to do those things at a young age. And I was developing those skills at a very, very young age, because I even kind of notice it nowadays. And I'm not arrogant about it in any way, shape or form, but you know, when I look at myself in the mirror and the list of skills that I have compared to other kids my age and generation, you know, John and I were kind of joking about the fact of he used to work in construction before he got into media, and he just learned all these varieties of skills and, you know, things he can do around the house, whether it's like fixing a toilet, doing some siding, some roofing. Yeah, right.
John, you're a handyman.
Oh,
we didn't know this.
Johnny C.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's all these other grown adults that they just don't know how to do it. And so therefore they're contracting this person, that person, and paying all this money. And so we got kind of a laugh out of it. It's like, yeah, I've got some grown men and women that hire a little 23-year-old to come out to their house and fixing some of these basic things, which to me, it's not that big of a deal. But to them, like, oh, how'd you do it? You know,
what was there's two questions that I want to go off of. One, when you talked about the kids would go do the other stuff, what was your sense of community outside of your family growing up?
Sense of community, as in,
so so if you are spending as much time as you are on the farm, having to, I would argue that as a kid,
outside your 2 half brothers, only child.
Correct.
So then I don't want to tell you were lonely, but that's the point I'm getting is like, okay, you're in a tractor for 8, 4, 5, 6 hours.
Right.
So like, what's the sense of community outside of that? Was it strictly basically the football team and a little bit of school, or was it church on Sunday? And that's it.
Right.
It's not like you're having people over and be like, hey, we're all going to the tractor at 4.
Yeah, right. Can't all fit in there. And again, I it's one of my favorite times ever is being out in that tractor in the middle of a 200-acre field in the middle of nowhere, not surrounded by traffic or being distracted by your phone. Like, it's really peaceful. And I'd say hunting is kind of the same thing. Being out in nature, being up in a tree stand, doing it for hours on end. Again, phones put away, no distractions, don't have to respond to this person, that person. I'd say when I was not out in the farm working or not in the tree stand hunting, it was something that we were pretty passionate about, like giving back to the community or being a part of it in some way, shape, or form. Sports was obviously a big one. I did play all 4 sports in high school: baseball, football, basketball, and track. But then I was also committed to different things. For say, I became a son of the American Legion, our little in-town post-59 American Legion. Became a part of that. When I was, I want to say 5th or 6th grade. Again, being Norwegian, we'd have these things called Kumla feeds. Are you familiar with what Kumla balls are?
Not a clue.
So pretty much it's like a meat grinder. It grinds up meat. Well, we did the same thing with potatoes. And then, you mix in baking soda, flour. I want to say there's something else. Kind of mash it all together. And then you put it in these roasters. Well, these roasters had been sitting overnight with, I want to say, 16 to 18 size, like those big family hams.
Okay.
Like, that you'd eat like for Thanksgiving or something like that. You take them out the next morning, you pull the meat apart, but then you keep the juice in there and the flavor, and you put these potato balls in there.
Potato with meat.
No, meat
that's
is
separate.
you take them.
That's
correct.
separate. Okay.
Correct. So
I was thinking like these potato meatballs.
No. Just potatoes.
Good,
yeah.
Okay.
And so then you put those in there, let them sit throughout the day, and then we'd have these Kumla feeds at night. We'd have some little grandma in the corner that would bring in some baked goods and sell those on the side. But one of the coolest things is that I got to work with all veterans, guys that had served, whether it was World War II, Vietnam, Korea. At some point in time, they were always there and willing to help out. And I guess to stretch on that, one thing that our family did, or kind of started, was the Story County Freedom Flight organization. So in 2012, 13, 14, and 15, each year, our family fundraised $150,000 to take 150 veterans from our county to Washington, D.C. for free for the day. Why? Because these monuments, memorials were built because of them. Why should they have to pay to go see them? And I don't know, just coming from a family that was deeply involved in the military, again, in some way, shape, or form, we just thought that it was one of the things that we needed to do. And we took a lot of pride in doing it. We loved doing it. We loved campaigning for it, holding fundraisers, going parades, setting up this event, that event. And so we promised that we would take every veteran from our county to DC for free. And so it took 4 years, over 600 some vets. And so again, that was kind of another engagement piece and getting to just speak with people of Story County. And I mean, there was people from other counties just pitching in or wanting to be part of it. And so again, the fact that I was able to do that at such a young age is pretty cool. I want to say the first year that I did it was 5th or 6th grade. And, I try and be like the little poster child, get up there, oh, give me your money for this. But one of the coolest parts was that, I was able to have all the kids in my grade in that 5th or 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade as well, write little coming home letters for each veteran. And so on the plane ride home, because we'd have to rent out this private jet, all these buses in DC. On the ride home, there would be a drill sergeant or whatever, come on and make his commands. And it's crazy. All these old guys, there was World War II vets, like old guys, but just beasts. He'd come on and make the commands and, they just didn't skip a beat. It was like they were just right back there. Then he makes the announcement of mail call, because that was one of the best things in the world to them when they're overseas for months or years on end. To get a piece of mail from their family was just like going back home. And I just started to hear some of those guys cry, and it was one of the most impactful things ever. And the fact that I was able to do that at such a young age just helped create such a perspective. So that's kind of the whole American Legion veteran side. We had this thing called the Greater chamber connection to the GCC board in Story City. So I was our school representative for that for a number of years. And so I kind of just it was like a small city council. Mm-hmm. And so I'd go in, give them updates on our elementary school, middle school, high school, sporting events, public events, whatever it might be. Did that every 2 weeks, get to be involved with some different community events. That was always fun.
Why do I feel this guy has more than 24 hours in a day?
Yeah. You're like that guy on the podcast. It's like, you know what? I wake up at 5 a.m. and at noon, I've already done one day. And then, have you seen this? Have you seen that video?
Something like that. The one thing that I think of is, have you guys ever seen Paul Harvey's speech, So God Made a Farmer?
I don't know if I have.
Really?
I don't think so.
You have to watch it. It's like 3 minutes long.
Okay.
But one of the lines is, I get my 72-hour work week in by Tuesday noon, and then, quote, paint in from tractor back, put in another 72 hours. And so again, just growing up in that farming mindset of, everyone else works 9 to 5s, farmers work 5 to 9. Just use your entire day.
Yeah.
But no, then back to your question about community engagement, was the student council guy, the key club guy, the whatever other little FFA guy. So there was plenty of other things that I was also involved in on top of for sports, school, farming, and then all the extra like club ball stuff outside of school stuff.
Go ahead.
Did your parents encourage you to do those things, or was it all on your own accord?
It was almost kind of contagious because, again, they lived the same life. My dad was he just retired the other day, 34 years as an Ames fire lieutenant.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah. And then also being a farmer, an auctioneer for a farm company called Steffes, kind of based out of the Midwest. And also kind of a little independent contractor of his own, just firefighter buddies call this and that, or whoever else he knows. And, we're pretty famous for not saying no, which is good and bad. So I don't know, just kind of mirroring my life off that is something that, again, I've enjoyed. I've liked. I like staying busy. Again, I don't know, it has just created that feeling for me of I hate sitting and doing nothing. I love just going. So, yeah.
Wow.
We'll go back to...
So what you guys do today?
That's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Ready to run through a brick wall?
Yeah, maybe a little bit like that. And I need to say yes, maybe a little bit more. You're encouraging a lot of people as you speak. Yeah.
You talked about Sunday, try to take that day off.
Correct.
How has faith kind of played its role with you as a farmer? And obviously when I hear you talking about you're out there in 200 acres with nobody, that's one-on-one time with God and seeing what he's provided. Kind of take me through how early you started going, or if it's it's just one of those things that we woke up and since I was 4, we just show up and that's the thing. And then has that shifted since you've gotten to Iowa, or is it kind of a similar way you go about it?
Yeah. Excuse me. I have to say it definitely started at a young age. Again, when I was that young, I didn't really understand it all, or would get,
of course,
take my little toy tractors in there and play on the pew or do some farming, whatever. But then, you go to confirmation once you get into middle school. That's kind of the ongoing joke is how do you get a kid to stop going to church? You confirm them. But
John loved that one.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we continued to go to church after that. And, again, just being from such a small, tight-knit community, if you weren't at church, you'd be hearing about it Monday morning at school or in the community or oh, so where were you this Sunday? Or
that's
something like that.
Great.
Yeah. So I don't want to say it was a guilt trip. Obviously it was a good thing, but it was always kind of a nice sense of community. Everyone talk about last week's game or whatever was going on throughout the week on Sunday. And, there's obviously that time for fellowship afterwards. We always go down and get a cup of coffee and a little donut, whatever. We always went with the grandparents, and the grandparents knew quite a few people in the town as well.
Sure.
And so I don't know, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Again, obviously the older that I got, the more I was able to put the pieces of the puzzle together and start to realize some things and apply it to my life. And no, just with how, again, tracing it back to the farming and how many things are out of our control. You think about who is in control, and just how important it is to give grace and give thanks every day, and just the ability to wake up the next morning. And again, you hope that he provides the right weather, the right soil conditions in order to raise this crop up, in order to feed the world, put fuel in our cars, and do all these other things. Again, there's so many things that we just can't take care of. And just back to, like, I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I can't do everything, but I know that I can do a decent amount of things compared to the other kids my age, as we discussed. And so there's always a Bible verse that stuck out to me the most was Isaiah 6:8. For the Lord asked, whom shall I send? And I responded, here am I, send me. And so I've always kind of applied that to my life. One of the bigger things, I guess, that was ever brought up was the flat tire incident. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
I didn't. Did you?
No. If you look it up at some point, Hawkeye football player, flat tire was 3 or 4 years ago. A lady got a flat tire on her way home from Minnesota back to Nebraska.
Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, yes, I remember the story.
Yeah. And again, I've changed probably 40 some tires in my lifetime, just on the side of the highway, interstate, whatever. And, the 41st time it happens, someone decides they want to take a picture, post it online, and it went pretty viral. Again, to me, some small minor thing, like I just changed a flat tire. It took me 10 minutes max, but to them, someone that doesn't have as much experience or the ability to do that, it's one of the coolest things ever. And so, I don't mean to brag about that anyway at all. It's just the fact of,
you were given skills that then you could bless somebody else.
Correct.
With the same thing.
Yes. And I want to be able to do that for the rest of my life and do that for other people. Again, whether it's a flat tire, whether it's changing the toilet with John, whether it's doing whatever, something to, like, it, to me, it'd be a sin to not use those skills to make other people's lives better. Period.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Was that something when that went viral where you kind of like, oh, I'm a little like, no, we don't need to post that everywhere.
Yeah.
You'd strike me as somebody that would be a little off put.
Right.
Like, I don't really need that.
I was able to get my school permit when I was 14 years old. So I was in 8th grade still. So I was, I was the only middle schooler driving a vehicle. And I don't know, I kind of just made a promise to myself that day. I was like, all right, if I ever see someone on the side of the road, I'm always going to stop and help them out. Like, just at least ask if they're okay, or again, try and utilize my skills somehow, some way to make their day better. We always think that we're the main character in our story, which technically you are, but you always think that, I'm not saying you guys specifically, but people think that they're entitled or they're just so busy or what they have going on is so important. Whereas, I should probably make it to school on time, or like, if I got to go to this meeting or a wedding or whatnot. But in reality, something like my dad always taught me, when he goes on a call as a firefighter, it's typically one of the worst days of their life. Their entire house is burned down, their kid got in a car accident, whatever it is. And so whenever you think you've got something going on, or like your day is going really bad, keep in mind that there's typically people out there that have it a lot worse. And so I just remind myself of that, driving on the side of the road, it's kind of a lonely, scary place, especially, if you're a mom or a dad with all your kids and you don't know what to do, stuck on the side of the interstate, the whole, like, what's that called? You click the button up top, roadside assistance or something.
Yeah. Yep.
And it seems like that stuff takes hours and hours. And
sure.
So no, I just try and be like a little shining beacon, or again, let God use me down here on earth to make someone's day or life better.
And it kind of sounds like too, I've heard some people say that, like how you, I guess, raise your kids, more is caught than taught. And so,
really?
Have you ever heard that before?
I've not heard that one.
So more is like they follow what you do,
Correct,
as opposed to what you say.
Yes.
I guess. Would you say that's pretty true? And with you, I mean, probably
Very
a
much
mixture
so.
of both. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. Actions speak louder than words. I've heard that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yep.
Bunch of
Yep.
different ways you can put that. Okay, so you mentioned high school, you were playing all 4 sports. When you were growing up, like you said, I mean, you're working on the farm as a 4 and 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's what your whole day is. Were you doing like travel ball? Were you doing things like that? Or kind of what did that look like for you being in Story City?
I did. I did all the travel baseball teams. It's funny. Like for my high school graduation, we hung up all my old jerseys throughout our big Morton building wall. I think baseball jerseys, I accumulated like 8 or 9, maybe 10 different teams. Football, there wasn't really, I mean, there was 7-on-7 travel stuff that you could do, but not really like padded contact. There was a kind of a Team Iowa thing that I did. Basketball is the same way. I mean, it was a lot of money. It took a lot of time. And so, I mean, it worked out like when we weren't in spring planting or fall harvest, spring is typically track season. And I never did a travel team for track.
Right.
Sure.
Or fast
Summer.
enough.
What? Yeah. Right. Got me there. Geez, baseball throughout the summer, yes. Basketball, yes. Football, no. Track, no. But
was that something you had to like talk your parents into letting you do, or were they all about it? Because I feel like maybe a preconceived notion of like a farming family is like, oh, we don't waste time on things like extracurriculars like that.
Right,
Again, preconceived notion. I'm not saying these are your parents, but was that something you're like, hey, I really want to pursue baseball. I really want to pursue football. Like, can I put my extra time into this? Or were they kind of just like, oh yeah, that's great as long as you get your stuff done?
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah. You know, and again, it was just one of those things that I wanted to do like as a kid. And, you know, I mean, no one likes being a crappy player that's picked last. Like, you know, you want to be better. And so I'm like, all right, like, let me go get the extra lessons in. Let me go travel and do this and that. So no, I'd say again, it was very time consuming, financially consuming. Did I meet a lot of new people and make a lot of new connections and back to the whole farming thing, tying in like family vacations. Never went on really a family vacation. The only time we left the state of Iowa was to play a sport. That was it. You know, otherwise you're gone and you can't even hardly enjoy the vacation because you're thinking about, oh, you know, what if these animals get out? What the water's frozen? Oh, they have enough food. Oh, I need to call the neighbor. Like all these things just going on. And so, I mean, that was kind of my one time to like get out of the farm and just to go experience something else.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So what's recruiting like?
Yeah.
Again, never really had the dream. You know, people ask me, who's your favorite college team as a kid or high school? Who's your favorite college team or who's your favorite pro team? Who's your favorite player? Never had one. Like I didn't watch sports. I wasn't begging to watch Sunday Night Football or whatever baseball game or the World Series, whatnot. Just there was work to be done. And so, you know, I originally thought baseball was going to be the route that I would take. Got a lot of early exposure to that. Played on some Team USA thing. That was really cool down in Florida. The ESPN World of Sports, played some different countries.
Dang.
So yeah, I really thought that'd be the one. Like, oh, I had this $1 million arm, but then COVID came around, junior year, didn't play. Senior season was like, oh, you know, by that time I was committed to Iowa. Ended up, again, ironically, high school was when it all kind of started. 8th grade is when it really started. Iowa State being 15 minutes away, they kind of heard about me because, you know, I hit my main growth spurt in 6th grade. 6th grade, I grew 9 inches.
What?
Started shaving my face.
Stop.
Yep.
In 6th grade?
6th grade. I'd love to. I need to try and find a picture, but yeah, I was way up here compared to everyone else. And so 8th grade rolled around.
The girls at your school were probably like, what is happening?
Right.
6th grade.
Yeah. What's in the water out at the farm?
Yeah, no kidding.
No, 8th grade rolled around. They started coming to like my middle school football practices, noticed me, whatnot.
So how tall were you in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade?
I want to say probably 6'1".
No.
Yeah. 6 foot at least,
crazy.
6'1".
Wow.
So that's kind of the joke. Is like, oh yeah, Tweet grew in 6th grade and hasn't changed since.
Oh.
Got a couple inches, gained some weight. But then got my first scholarship to play football at Iowa State freshman year. Ended up committing to Iowa State later my freshman year. Why? I mean, my coach and I were trying to think of some different, more clever ways to get more scholarships or more offers, whatever you want to say. Like, oh, okay, so if you commit, maybe more schools will come in. Kind of not. Anyways, I ended up coming over to an Iowa camp. Iowa's kind of the only one that I'm familiar with that does like a full padded helmet, like you're hitting, not just a jersey and cleats. And I was very fortunate and blessed to end up getting a scholarship to play linebacker. And so then, it was
from that camp.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Was it like the 3-day camp?
It was only 1 day. It
was a 1 day, fully padded 1 day camp.
Correct. Yep.
Dang.
Yep. One of those hot weekend afternoons. And a few days later, Coach Wallace gave me a call and, hey, Zach, love to give you a scholarship. And so for me, it was pretty just no brainer go to Iowa. Why? I mean, yes, it would have been nice being 15 minutes away from home, but I guess that little Iowa corn video I did a couple weeks ago for the Iowa State game, I don't know if you saw that, but the joke is like, I knew that I was 15 minutes away from home. I know that my dad would also know that I was 15 minutes away from home. And hey, Zach, what are you doing? What are you stop by? And then, they talk about, oh, you could have went to Iowa State, got your ag degree. It's like, well, then I would have wasted 4 or 5 years of my life learning about something that I already know.
Yeah.
So
the same thing.
From an educational standpoint, come over to one of the most predominant business colleges, get my nice business degree, getting a master's right now as well. Well, then just kind of culture. I mean, for me, it wasn't really like Big 10 versus Big 12. It was just Iowa. It seemed like they really focus on recruiting in-state, kind of blue-collared, hardworking Midwestern kids. I mean, guys that
are you?
Yes. Yeah. Kind of the same mindset, like that farming, hardworking mindset, like guys that just want to get after it. And again, I'm not dissing on Iowa State. I mean, I can't, obviously, after they beat us last weekend. But it seemed like at the time, they were doing a lot of recruiting, like down south or some bigger states. And guys, I just wasn't really meshing with the most. I mean, culture is such a cheesy, cliche word to throw around, but it seems
it's a fact. It boils down to how you do things.
Right. Correct.
And does everybody buy into the way that you're doing things?
Right.
And are there people trying to leave right away, or is it built on like, oh no, we actually like it here and we like the way we do things. We don't want to leave for better jobs, i.e. Coach Parker,
right?
i.e. Coach Wallace, i.e. Coach Woods, right? Like guys that actually want to stick around.
Yes. Yep. And again, that was another one of the things. I mean, the coaches now at Iowa, like they either played at Iowa or they had some connection to Iowa growing up in college,
or they came with the building.
Right. Yeah. right. And it just like stays in house. And again, culture, definitely one of the biggest things for me. So no, kind of sealed the deal later sophomore year, said Iowa's going to be the way to go. And I mean, some other colleges kind of came knocking on the door. I was like, oh, sorry, I'm going to stay at least in state. You know, for me now, it's only about a 2-hour drive home. So if anything does pop up, pretty quick trip if need be. But it's the right distance away from home to where my dad can't bug me too much. But also, if I
say you get up at 2, you could be there by 4:30.
Yeah,
you could still feed.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So then coming from Story City, you get on campus. What year would that have been? Remind me.
So I graduated high school early. So I was technically still a senior.
You graduated high school early?
Yeah. So I came over here in January. So it would have been January of 21.
You came in during winter workouts.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds like a Zach Twedt thing to do based on the rest of the conversation.
Why did you graduate early?
Golly.
I don't know. I was kind of excited. You know, I had a decent amount of college credits. You know, like I had a whole semester done.
Just couldn't sit still.
I couldn't sit still. Like I was just like ready to start the next chapter, and knew that I didn't really want to run track the next spring. So just decided to get over here, kind of start the next chapter of life and get after it. But you know, that was still during COVID, and so then workouts every morning we'd have to go over to that track building, get a nice swab or tickle in the brain, and then eventually the COVID shots came out and everything else. But you also have to take a look at it sometime. But February 27th of 2021 is when I got diagnosed with my myocarditis, inflammation of the inner walls of the heart. And kind of a super rare, not really sure what caused it type of thing. My heart grew 10, 12%, something like that. One day woke up, had some crazy chest pain after my cousin's wedding on a Saturday. It was Sunday. Drove back to Iowa City. Had crazy chest pain, hard to breathe all day. Ended up calling the emergency room that night, like, hey, these are my symptoms. This is what I got. Like, do I take ibuprofen, some Advil? Like, what do you guys recommend? Sir, you should be in an ambulance coming to the emergency room right now. I was like, okay, well, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. I'll be walking over, because Patterson Hall is just on the back side, on the east side of the hospital. And so ended up just walking over, did a bunch of x-rays, EKGs, ultrasounds. We weren't really able to figure out what it was initially. But then after a few more tests, got diagnosed with myocarditis. And so next thing you know, again, this is like starting my second month on campus. There I am stuck up in the children's hospital for a whole week. It was just a series of, they call it kind of a liquid IVIG, an anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Doing my vitals every single hour, any time of the day throughout the night. Wasn't much sleep, never had a migraine in my life, but there I was, it's like 3 or 4 days, just couldn't focus. Head was going crazy. It's just with your heart, like it's legit. It's not just like a arm fracture, leg fracture, twisted ankle.
If you don't move it this way, it won't hurt.
Right. And it's just, again, so many things were just out of my control. And it was kind of a blessing and a curse. One of the coolest things I wanted to be a part of in my recruiting process was the Wave of the Children's Hospital. I remember doing that, again, the recruiting process didn't have the normal recruit, like come on an official visit, COVID.
Right.
And so my class, again, kind of got the butt end of the stick of that. When I was here, I took a picture, in my recruitment jersey, whatever, waving at the Children's Hospital, no one else on the field. And so that was, again, one of my biggest priorities. Like I get to be a part of one of the coolest traditions in all college football every time we play a home game. And
Just didn't know you'd be up there.
Right. And then, to just have the roles reversed at such an early stage of my life, and to like, throughout the day, I wasn't really doing much. So you kind of walk around and you see some of the other kids, and it's like, wow, like, I think I've got it bad. Again, talking to my doctor, my cardiologist, was I really supposed to make it? Was I supposed to wake up the next day and go to workouts? I don't know. My situation was more on the severe end. So I'm just glad that I was willing to call and admit myself in the hospital. But no, to just have that, and like I said, perspective at such an early stage. And it's like, okay, the children's wave means significantly more to me now than it were. Again, I know it means a lot to all the players now, but just getting that like firsthand experience for sure, which has been great. It's been a blessing and a curse. I'm so grateful that it happened to me and no one else. Just because it has, again, helped me kind of mature, grow, and tailor myself into the man that I am today. And so it's established a lot of great connections, with the nurses that were helping me out. My cardiologist, Ian Law, him and I talk to each other probably about every other week. I do a lot of work for him, and he's got some other rental houses that I help take care of, and his family, see them quite a bit. But then also some of the kids, and then being tied in with things like the UI Dance Marathon. I'd say there's a good 2 or 3 kids that I keep in constant contact with nowadays. I'll FaceTime them every once in a while, give their families a call. Kite and Deckers, one of the bigger ones, the big yellow hand on top of like the ambulances or first responder vehicles. I guess that was kind of established because of him. I don't know if he did some certain hand gesture on a window, something like that. And so no, him and I drove up to his house. I want to say I can't remember the actual town. It's 2 hours northeast in Iowa. And we had like a little play date. Whenever he comes back to Iowa City, we always go stop and grab a bite to eat, or we go to the Children's Museum over at the Corville Mall. And again, it's just the fact of, again, since I went through it, and I know that these little kids, they're not nearly my age. They're not nearly as big as strong. They haven't got to experience, playing college football or getting to do some of this. And the question is, will they ever get to? Maybe, maybe not. And so the least that I can do now is, devote a lot of my extra time, all the extra time that I have in a day, to those kids, and getting to do some of those things. And, I talked to some of the other players, and, to those kids, we're their heroes. We're the guys in the capes out there on the field getting to watch us. But in reality, I like to flip the script and say, those are some of the strongest, toughest kids that we've ever met. And so when they come out to football, or we get to go over there and see them, again, it really just flips your perspective. And keeps everything in check, as I should say. But no, we talked, Coach Wallace was bringing it up just the other week. James Morris, were you playing? Did you play with him?
Yeah, he was a senior when I was a freshman. Yeah. I think I don't think he was the one that took me on scout team, but
oh, really?
Just one of those.
You're welcome to college football moment.
Yes, you gotta have one.
Yeah. Geez, yeah, Logan Jones gave me mine freshman year. He came and spoke to us during fall camp, and that was one of the things that he really kind of harped on. He's like, yes, you're here to play football. Yes, you're here to get an education, but in reality, like, make sure that you take the time to build some of those genuine, real connections and relationships here in Iowa City, because again, yes, there's a lot of resources and connections through Iowa football and the coaches and staff, whoever else, but those are guys that you're typically going to be surrounding yourself with come 15, 20, 30 years down the road. At the end of the day, you only get 5 years of your life to spend around this many like-minded individuals. And so it'd be smart of you to, again, take the time to just check up on them every once in a while, send them a happy birthday text, go eat lunch with them every once in a while. And it just made me realize, Coach Wallace had us do a little exercise, like, what are your personal goals and what are your team goals for this year? And, mine was just, how can I leave a legacy on this program that lasts me significantly longer than my 5 years here? Like, what impact can I leave? How can I influence other people's lives? Again, whether I'm teaching my teammates how to change a flat tire or how to change a car battery, or, this afternoon I got to go install a teammate's like TV stand on a wall. Yeah, literally. And doing small things like that. But then, tying it back to the Children's Hospital, whenever we get some event like that, or some kid that we know is over there a family friend of a family friend from back home or 2 hours away or 2 states away calls and, oh, hey, I've got my niece, nephew, whoever in the children's hospital. Could you go over, say hi? That's when I'll just round up 10, 15 guys, typically different guys every time. Like, hey, come over with me. Give me 5, 10, 15 minutes of your day. You're going to go meet this kid. You're going to go talk to the family. And I guarantee you, you're going to walk out there. You're going to leave there very grateful that you came. And, yep, that's typically the case. Oh, Zach, man, that reset me for the week or something like that.
Yeah.
So no, again, it's not about what you have. It's what you do with what you have and the legacy that you leave. And so trying to really do that in my last 4 months here at the University of Iowa.
Wow. Last 4 months.
Yeah. Sorry. I kind of just went on a rant.
That's okay.
I'm glad John can kind of cut it up.
That was great.
Do some editing.
No, we don't need to edit any piece of that. First, I want to ask, are you with that myocarditis? Are you fully healed? Is that a long-term thing that you kind of have to keep checking up on? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. I'd say for the most part, it's pretty much gone.
Okay.
Throughout these past 5 years, I've went for semi-annual checkups. So I'll go get a cardiac MRI, EKG, ultrasound, and then I have to do that stress test on a treadmill. You guys ever done one of those?
No.
I don't know if I have.
It's like you see the Gatorade athletes doing it. You get in a treadmill and it increases speed and incline every 3 minutes.
No, I might have done one early.
Sure. And you wear this big mask with a tube, so you don't track your VO2 max. Yep. Then I'm also wearing, 12, 15 different monitors throughout my body and wires while I'm doing it. And again, everything was cleared probably about after a year or so into the whole thing. It's just the fact of they now want to have data for future patients.
I was going to say, you're basically an experiment.
Correct. Yes. And, again, it's what's helped kind of foster the relationship between Dr. Law and I, is, I know that he was there to help me. And so now I kind of want to pay it back and help him and give him he is one of the best cardiologists, in the country. There's new people that come in and do my ultrasound or EKG every time, always someone new. Oh yeah, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Texas. I'm from wherever. Oh, so Ian Law? Oh yeah, everyone knows him. So it's pretty cool. I'm working with a legend, and it's a privilege for me to be able to do that. And again, it's just something that I told him to, not only for my mental health or well-being. It's nice to know that yes, I am still my heart is still good. Ticker's still ticking. I don't have any scar damage or tissue, and my VO2, everything else is going well. But at the same time, again, yes, I'm grateful that I can give you some data, and I will continue to take as many tests as you want me to do. It's a win-win.
That's not a fun one either.
No, I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not fun at all. Stress tests, you're supposed to max out. You're supposed to be on the brink of passing out. You hardly breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're trash.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Wow.
I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy.
That seems like a really an opposite test you would want to do for somebody that has something wrong with their heart.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's completely has no idea what that is. But wow.
See, I think I'm almost up there for the record.
Wait, really?
As many treadmill tests as I've done in the days, but not a problem. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And you just kind of look at those scenarios, and I'm sure for a lot of people, you look at, what happened to you, and it could be why is this happening to me? Or, how could this happen to me? And you kind of get this
woe is me kind of mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying that happened to you, but with a lot of things that happen to people, right? And just kind of they're a victim of their circumstances, I guess. But really cool to see that, first of all, you're okay. But second, that God's using you in a way that that is affecting so many different people, and using a circumstance that at the beginning.
As you say, but you had to go through it.
Yeah.
In order to gain that perspective.
Totally.
Yes.
So when you're saying blessing and curse, I don't see the curse side of it. But honestly, it's trash for that little bit of time.
Right.
But then how that trash was turned into, how many guys have you brought over to the children's hospital? How many children have you talked to? Right. How many of them are getting to see the true perspective? Because you only get so much, right? KF would talk to us we're playing a game. Right now I'm coaching my 4-year-old's flag football team.
Yeah.
They're terrible. But we're playing the same game they are.
Right.
Just on a different stage. And now you get to take people that may not have that kind of perspective and share it, and then have them be changed because of what happened in your life.
Correct.
And how God changed that. I think that's kind of the point you were getting at.
Yeah. I think so. And too, you talk about the perspective shift. And one other thing I want to say too that just kind of came to mind is, I think a lot of times, as Christians, maybe we look at different like positions or different, just like, I guess playing football can be kind of like a vanity thing, right? Like my identity is found in my sport. My identity is found in the fact that 70,000 people pay attention to me. And the fact that I got to, play football at Iowa, like I got myself here. I went through all this hard work. But it's just really cool to see that you've kind of flipped that on its head of, yes, I do play a sport that is a sport that my 4-year-old also plays. Yeah. And yes, like that did require a lot on you, right? Physically, mentally to get to that point, but then also to turn around and say, but I'm also going to use it to bring glory to him. Correct. Right. And to bring his kingdom here as much as possible to whoever I come in contact with because of Iowa football.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know, I just think that's really beautiful because, I think sometimes maybe we shy away from being up on quote unquote a pedestal, right? Or having some sort of platform. Because you want to be more reserved, I guess. That makes sense. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here?
And that's what I was kind of referencing with the flat tire thing. Like, even though I'm an Iowa football player, and like, it doesn't make me too good to stop and help some random stranger on the side of the road. Like, it doesn't make me too good to go help some random student at the University of Iowa change their car battery or flat tire, pull them out of the snow.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Or snowplow X amount of driveways.
Yeah. When it's negative 14 degrees outside. Didn't get compensated for the weather, but it was a good experience. Character building.
Oh, man. Well, I guess we better wrap it up here, but this was incredible.
Sweet.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I mean, this might be a top 5 interview in terms of
totally
off the field insight.
Yeah. I would say so.
So we didn't talk much football.
Hopefully we didn't.
Okay. We never do.
No, it's totally okay. No, we really appreciate it. It was really cool.
Yeah, the farm side of things, although we might speak to a couple of people that have been farmers, I don't know if they've necessarily like given us the full, not farming perspective, but like farming mentality.
Right.
And I'm 31, played a while ago, but like understanding the American needs farmers, I feel like I understand that more even just from the little snippet we had today.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty humble individuals, I'd say. You typically don't get much out of them, but I like to give a little bit of insight to it. Again, A&F's one of those things that I'm super prideful about, like the fact that we get to wear that and represent that. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I will say this too. We were like looking at the roster, just kind of like going through, we got to get this guy on, got to get this guy on, like would love, just kind of get an idea of like this season, who we want to reach out to.
Is that we're going to end the podcast?
Yep. No, totally. And because it's been pretty serious up to this point. So Matt's looking at it and he goes, that does not look like an Iowa football player. He comes across your picture. He's like, that looks like a guy that would be on a commercial. He called you a model.
Really?
I did call you a model. And then Laura said, that's somebody that's on the pharmaceutical commercial.
Oh boy.
Real clean cut. And then we went through this whole thing of like, you'd be on the pharmaceutical commercial, like doing like on a treadmill. And you'd be like, my eczema used to bother me. And, then, and now like in person, doing your stress test.
And then as you put your hand through your hair, like the eczema clears up.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. You even have the voice for it too. That. John, could you see this happening? Oh, yeah.
Wait, we got the producer. We got the guy.
We could create a whole thing.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Good. Yeah. Yeah. He said it, not me.
Right. Being a farm kid though, I don't know.
Well, hey, we just appreciate you taking the time out of your incredibly busy day. I'm so happy that we could kind of fit into all the things that you got going on and all the places that you decide to put your time. And I know that just the people listening to this will be affected in some way, shape, or form by the things that you said. So anyway,
either that or convicted.
Yeah, right.
One
of the two.
A little of both.
Well, no, I mean, obviously going forward, if you guys ever need anything, podcast or off the podcast, get you a business card or get my number from John.
Oh yeah, let's plug the business. Here we go. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh boy. Tall T Services, independent contracting. Again, things that I just learned or skills that I inherited growing up on the farm. I mean, I've done plumbing, framing, wiring, heating, cooling, roofing, siding, concrete, lawn, landscape, snow, pretty much you name it.
Power washing?
Yep. Power washing, detailing cars. I typically know how to do it. And if I don't, I know someone that does.
Sweet.
So, yeah, it's not what you know, but who you know. Still applies.
Very good. So you do that mostly in the Iowa City area?
Correct. Yep. say Johnson County. I'd say it kind of stretches
Sure.
here and there, but
Okay.
yeah, whatever I have time for.
And what's the name of it again?
Tall T. So it comes off of our farm because like our farm has an each farm typically has like an LLC name or a corporation. And from the Tweet side, like most of my family on the Tweet side of the family is like either between 6'1" and 6'5". They're all pretty tall. And so our farm LLC is Tall T Farms. And so I kind of just branched it off that. When I came over here, I was like, boom, I'll just do Tall T Services. Yeah.
That's so easy. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. If you need anything at all whatsoever, any time of the day,
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
Talt. It's Tall T.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Last name is Tweet, not Tweet.
Maybe we could add it in the description of like the information that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So YouTube
we got
description.
A guy for that.
Yeah, right.
Totally. And he does siding. John, we learn something new about you every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Zach, thank you so much. Seriously. This was so great. We really appreciate it.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you guys. This was fun. This was awesome.
Good.
Expectations weren't too high. That's good.
Good. No, it was so good. And best of luck the rest of the season too.
Thank you.
And whatever comes next, don't graduate early. Okay.
Yeah.
You stuck around. That was nice.
Yep. Finish it out.
All right. Well, go Hawks.
Go Hawks. A&F too.
That too. Well, hey, Talkin Hawks fans, we are so excited about our newest sponsor of the podcast, and that is Stack Wellness Cafe. Okay. Are you done interrupting?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Go.
Stack Wellness Cafe is fast, healthy food that you can grab on the go. It is protein shakes, bowls, and all kinds of other things to help you hit your protein goals for the day. Everything is made better.
I bought it. I go there. I'm going to drink it.
Well, truthfully, Matt goes there like every other day. I'm pretty sure you come home with a Stack protein shake almost every single day.
If you knew about it, you'd do it too.
All of their food is cooked locally and fresh and is delivered to each location for maximum quality and flavor. Okay. It's delicious. Wouldn't you say, Matt?
Nothing brings fans together on game day like great pizza and good company. At Marquee Pizzeria in the Iowa River Landing, we fire up fresh wood-fired pies, served ice-cold drinks, and create the perfect spot for fans of all ages. Whether you're out with friends or making it a family night, Marquee Pizzeria is the place to celebrate before or after the game. Grandma's Hands is my favorite. Find us in Coralville at the Iowa River Landing District. Go Hawks. I love Estella's because it's fresh. From fresh grilled steak to the salsas to the fresh pressed tortillas. I love Estella's because it's made there right in front of you and it's quick and it doesn't feel like fast food. It's fresh food made quickly.
We both love Estella's because it's made with love. They put a lot of pride in their food and customer service, and they're locally owned. Fresh food, made quick, and with love. Check out Estella's today. Okay, it is time to get into our Laura segment, brought to you by Big Girl. All right, the lore of Rutgers. I've got two little stories, okay? One's short, one's a little longer. Okay, Passion Puddle.
No context. That's a wild way to lead the lore. This is a family podcast.
I feel like I need to start over.
How are you going to start over?
Okay. There's a pond. There's like a pond. I think it's a pond or like a small lake. I'm going to call it a pond on campus that's called Passion Puddle. And what you're supposed to do. So actually, it's the 6th most romantic spot on college campuses.
Wait, like across all campuses, this is 6th?
Yeah, 6th.
Okay.
On a list of the top 25. This is number 6.
Who votes in these, by the
way? I'm wondering the same thing. Also, it's such a specific list.
Right?
Most romantic spot on college campuses.
Like, what are you voting at Iowa? IMU. Like, what are you putting down?
I have no idea. I doubt we made the list. Anyway, it's called Passion Puddle. And it said you have to hold hands and walk around the pond 3 times with your significant other. And if you do that, you'll be married and live happily ever after. Yes, it's just a thing. You gotta be choosy with who you take to the pond. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to call it that. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. Okay. Hold on. I have to get to my other one now.
Passion Puddle. Passion
Okay.
Puddle.
All right. We're going to move on from that one. You know, I wrote it down and I didn't think anything of it. And then you just had to make it so weird.
You said it out loud. That's writing it down is one thing.
I know.
Saying it out loud, bringing life to it.
Whatever. Okay. This one is the Revolutionary War Cannon War. Okay. You ready for this? So it's between Rutgers and Princeton. So this was back in the late 1800s. Not only were they football rivals, are they considered football rivals now still? Not really. Okay. So they were football rivals at the time. Back in, like I said, the late 1800s. But they were also
1992, something like that.
Why are you saying that?
I think that was when like college football.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Something like that. This was in 1875.
Oh, wow.
So either way, they were fighting over this war cannon that had been created. And the cannon had sat at Princeton on their campus. But the Rutgers students were like, hey, actually, I think we would like to have that cannon. So they're just out there creating problems for no reason. Okay, so in 1875, a group of them snuck in at night and dug this giant Revolutionary War cannon out of the ground, which like I didn't know they were put in the ground. Did you know that?
So was it like a functioning cannon or was it a statue?
It was a functioning cannon. I mean, I don't know that they like
used it,
but it was a real one.
Huh.
Anyway, so they dug it out of the ground and then they hauled it back to Rutgers. Do you know how far away that is? 20 miles. It's 20 miles away. And they put it in a wagon and then walked it back to campus. How long do you think that took? All these stories, there's always like a little something that I'm like, I don't know if that's real.
1875.
Yeah.
Did they have horses?
I have no idea. They said they walked it back in a wagon. Somebody's making this stuff up. It's kind of like all these ones that I read that like the names, you're like, I don't know if that was a real person. Either way, they hauled it back to New Brunswick in a wagon, 20 miles. And when the Princeton students found out, they were so mad. So they went to Rutgers and they stormed in. It was like this huge thing. And it was like broad daylight. They were like, no, we're going to go take this thing back. And fights broke out. Big riots, whole thing. And it got so out of control that the local authorities from like New Jersey had to come in and like break everything up and calm it down. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, they calmed things down. And so the solution was Princeton got their cannon back and they decided to cement it in place into the ground so that nobody could take it. And to keep the peace, the city of New Brunswick gave Rutgers their own Revolutionary War cannon. You shouldn't get that. You did
reward that.
No,
behavior.
That was rude to just go take somebody else's cannon.
Fine, and we'll just get you your own.
Why do you need it? Also, why do you need that? You don't need it. What do you need that for?
Maybe in case they were ready for another war. Needed that cannon.
Either way, but both schools have one now, so everybody's happy. But it was funny when I was looking it up, like, different like Rutgers lore, blah, blah, blah. And somebody on like a little Reddit forum was like, what's some lore that I need to know before I graduate from Rutgers? And somebody was like, go get or what do I need to like do before I graduate? You know, like, go walk around the pond 3 times. The puddle. Go walk around it 3 times or like different stuff. And one of them was like, go get our cannon back. It wasn't yours. You don't have to get it back. It wasn't yours to begin with. Leave them alone, okay? You have your own.
That's like if Blair takes a cake pop from Dax. We give the cake pop back and then we have to give Blair her own. You don't reward that behavior.
100% we would definitely get her own. You know we would do that. Here, Blair, I'll just get you your own. Don't take taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tough on her. No, you're not.
You don't have to say it like that.
Be nicer to Matt.
I've got a reputation to uphold.
So sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, actually, this is a pretty decent Rutgers team right now.
Okay.
So they always do really well out of conference. But the thing that they're doing is they put up 60 last week against Norfolk State, 60-10.
Wow.
And Norfolk State actually has Michael Vick as their head coach.
Really?
It's interesting that a lot of these former players are now like becoming head coaches.
What's the Norfolk State?
Mm-hmm.
What's the mascot?
Spotting.
Oh, it's not the dogs. Okay. Just wondering.
John doesn't even know that. Oh, that's so much better. We'll tell you later, John. I'll tell you off air.
Just wondering.
They're the Spartans.
Okay. Keep going.
And then they put up, I think, 40 or 50 the game before. Their only close game thus far has been versus Ohio. Not Ohio State, but the Ohio Bobcats.
Okay.
34-31, close game. one of the main things that Rutgers did really well was run in between the tackles. They were shotgun running. They don't really go under center, but their head coach is a defensive coach, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But again, running in between the tackles, not a fullback. They'll go 2x2 sets, motion the tight end, and then they call it inserting, but like doing a seal block or something like that, or bringing him inside to help block with the big guys. But inside the tackles was kind of their main thing.
Okay.
So that means it's up to like Aaron Graves, Hawthorne, and then Harrell and Shire being able to get off blocks and get to where they need to go so they can make that. Now, granted, versus Norfolk State, versus Ohio at times, like they were just moving guys, like absolutely moving guys. Our guys aren't going to get moved like that. But it is incumbent upon our front seven, I think, to hold this game in. I don't think they're going to throw all over the place. They've got a decent quarterback, transfer from Minnesota, Ethan. I think it's Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Do you remember that name?
His first name is Ethan?
Yeah. They just forgot the N.
I didn't know
the
that.
first one.
I didn't know.
Ethan Kaliak-Manis. He's a tall guy. He played really well.
So sorry, you can't get over that. Keep going.
He played really well at Minnesota. I think he started as a true freshman, or at least split time. He might have split time with Tanner Morgan. I'm trying to think of the timeline there. But he transferred out to Rutgers with his brother. So there's two Kaliak-Manises out there. But he's been playing relatively well. Again, not like hard, good competition outside of Ohio, meaning like close games. But they did play really well. Like the receivers get open. It's going to be running in between the tackles and then stopping Kaliak-Manis, who is kind of an athletic guy, doing like RPO, little things out to the tight end, things of that nature to just make sure that our front seven are honed in so that way our back end can take care of business.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't foresee them throwing the ball much. Like I think they will if they get down, but they want to live kind of on the ground in between the tackles. They do some like interesting things on the outside, but they're not going to throw it 45 times. You know what I mean? Like I think it's going to be closer to that 20 to 22. So when we get those opportunities, we have to take advantage. I think TJ Hall is playing really, really well. Deshaun Lee, I think, is continuing to improve. Obviously, Conan Entringer is pretty much everywhere. Zach Lutmer just shows up. Like, dude flies over the field. Maybe he's really good at basketball, too. I don't know. That's what he says. But I think that there's some guys on the back end. Xavier Wankpa seems to be flying downfield. Downhill. I think he's playing a lot better than he had in previous years, getting that experience. So I think our back end is starting to settle in a little bit. It's just the front seven are going to have to dictate this game just with how much Rutgers wants to run in between the tackles.
Cool. Okay. Is that all you want to say about Rutgers?
No. Offensively, we have to keep doing what we're doing.
Okay.
There doesn't have to be a whole lot of change. Right. I really like the slow read that we ran against Iowa State, and it worked pretty well for us. Mm-hmm. We didn't go pistol as much this game, but I thought our pistol timed up well against Iowa State in terms of when the running back was ready to hit the hole. It just seemed like we were running the ball more effective that way. And I don't know if we'll have Kamari Moulton back before Friday. I feel like he's getting closer to that timeline. I just don't know when. But Xavier Williams, like, really good. Jazz Patterson, good. It was good to get McNeil in there against UMass to kind of get that stable going. Terrell Washington continues to play a lot. So between those things, I think offensively we just have to keep going in rhythm. We got to take some deep shots here and there. Gronowski's confidence should be through the roof now. Like, okay, you've done it. It's not one of those where I'm waiting to get the big one. I'm waiting to do, like, you've done it. Now just do it again because you've already done it, you know. So now an opportunity to go deep, things of that nature should open up against Rutgers. One thing that they like to do on defense is they mug. They do a lot of mugging. And what that means is their linebackers will come up and be like right over the center or right over the guard, ready to blitz. They don't always blitz, but they're right there. And then they shoot out into their zones. That's a good perspective to try and get offensive linemen confused or get the quarterback confused on who's blitzing, who's not. Although I do think it's easier to tell than most. Like, just because somebody's standing there, where's their weight? So if somebody's standing there, do they have most of their weight on their front foot? Are their hips back? Are their hips forward? You can tell if somebody's blitzing just based on their stance. So hopefully we can read that, and then offensive line knows where they're going. But that also means that they're going to get late to their drop and late to everything else. So we should have some mid-range game availability. Ohio killed them with some RPO, little tight end dink stuff, which would be to Zach Ortworth. little stuff like that. Hayden Large, I think, caught one too. Like those types of plays, I think are going to be big for us offensively. Special teams. Well, now I just feel like I got to give Caden Wheaton a chance. I feel like you just got to catch it and then go. So obviously Drew Stevens get honed back in after the 2. I know that's going to sit with him for a while. So getting that back out. Friday Night Lights, kind of a throwback to being able to play on Friday night. And it is a short week this week. And knowing that you have an extra day of rest on the next week kind of gives you a little extra motivation going into this one.
Cool.
So that's kind of where I'm at with the Rutgers. What's their mascot?
Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knights.
Yep. I'm going to tell you something, Matt. I'm looking at the Hawkeye Sports app that has all of my information. If you haven't downloaded it, got to do it now. Also, please download the Hawkeye Sports app because every time I'm at an event, I tell you guys, download the Hawkeye Sports app and do the light show with us. And all you have to do is download the Hawkeye Sports app, open it up, click more, then click light show, and just have your phone camera facing out toward the field or toward the court or toward the mat. Just do it so I can stop saying it.
I don't know if you felt the rage that I felt when she just said that. So for me, do it.
You guys are all in trouble. Download it. Anyway, on the Hawkeye Sports app, it says 7:00, which tells me that that's 7:00 Central.
It doesn't say CT. It just says
no,
7.
but this is for Hawkeye fans, so it's definitely telling you.
If it's at 6, that's gonna be a major mishap.
You are so irritating. 7:00 on Fox. It's on Fox, so just look it up on your TV guide.
What is happening?
I don't know. Anyway, all right. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited for it.
Please like, subscribe, follow the channel. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
We sent out our giveaway.
We did.
To our winner. I think we announced that last week at our last episode, but maybe we'll do another giveaway if we can get another, what do you say, Johnny C? 200 subscribers, 300, 500. Let's get to 1,500 YouTube subscribers.
50% from where we are until the next giveaway.
Let's get us to 1,500 subscribers. So if you have a Hawkeye fan that's in your family, in your friend circle, send them this podcast, send them the link, send it to them and tell them to subscribe. And maybe you can be the giveaway winner.
I love it.
Great. Okay, have a great week and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.